Hey everyone, I'm Will.
And I'm Caleb.
Welcome to the Retrek Review Podcast, a podcast where we talk about every single episode of Star Trek chronologically. But here's the best part. Caleb hasn't seen a single episode.
What is Star Trek? Is it like Star Wars? I've seen Star Wars.
So don't click off this video, because if you do, you won't see Caleb's unique view of what the episode we're about to watch is.
I hated it.
You heard it here. Computer, begin program.
Increase to full power!
It was me that creeps. I feel like something's watching us.
Savick, you go right on quoting regulations.
Hello, computer.
I knew I would.
You betrayed your uniform!
Target their cargo hold. Time to take out the garbage.
Smooth as an android's bottom, eh, Data?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Inspires to be better than I
Come on, it's gonna be fun.
5 years in space. God help me.
This is the best day of my life!
A phaser? You didn't use it? Swords are fun.
Welcome back to another Retrek Review, where each week we talk about Star Trek. And this week we're talking about episode 5 of Star Trek The Next Generation. And that episode is entitled The Last Outpost. It was a teleplay by Herbert Wright and a story by Richard Krazeman and directed by Richard Cola. It originally aired October 19th, 1987. And we have some guest appearances. We have Armin Shimmerman as Letek, Jake Dengle as Mordok, Tracy Walter as Kayron, Daryl Henriquez as Portal, and Mike Gomez as Damon Tar. The synopsis for The Last Outpost is: in pursuit of Ferengi marauders, the Enterprise and its quarry become trapped by a mysterious planet that is draining both ships' energies. So that's the introduction to the episode. But before we get into subscribers and comments, let's go over to Caleb and ask Caleb what he thought of the episode.
Well, it was better than last week, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, this was good. I like this. So this is like the introduction to the Ferengis.
Yep.
So I don't know what they are because I've never seen them before. So I have to pretend that I don't know what these guys do or why they do it. Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Other than yet again they go to a planet where there's like a god entity that has to they have to like prove themselves to.
Yeah.
That seems to be a recurring
Oh, yeah.
recurring theme, yeah.
Tremendously so.
Worf is back and no Wesley, so 10 out of 10. And Picard remembered that Wesley existed this episode, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, despite not even seeing him, yeah.
Yeah. Where's your
Mm.
what's he called? Oh, your son. Weber. Where's Weber? Where's your son? Is he
Yeah.
is he
Is he
is
here?
he here? Is he cold as well? Yes.
Yes, he is. I've thought about
I
killing
was
him.
yeah, I thought about killing him. No. Mm-mm. Any child deserves to die. Same intensity as the parents. Because I'm a Frenchman.
So, what would you rate the episode?
It's a one Akuda.
It's a 1 Akuda. Look at that.
Yep.
All right. Well, we had some extra subscribers this week, but of course, YouTube doesn't tell me. But to all you
Hmm.
subscribers out there, thanks for
for
subscribing.
Warrior.
And I like to tell you like months after.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or in an email. Like the app won't tell me or the program, but I'll go into my like junk mail and it'll be like, oh, so and so subscribed to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks for putting it in here.
Yeah, it's handy.
Yeah, we got a couple comments on our previous podcast of the Code of Honor. One was from Spruce Mouthman, and he just wrote, Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man. And I said, excellent. We'll get there eventually with that episode. And the other commenter was just wasted 3 hours here. They say, Season 1 had its share of clunkers, and this is one of them. Luckily, the quality of writing did improve quite a bit over the seasons. Season 2 had several really good episodes. By Season 3, they had fleshed out the characters and their backstories a lot, and they were off to the races. So, at least we got
Yeah.
that to look forward to.
I think calling it a clunker is like the nicest thing
True.
I've heard. Yeah.
Very true. Now, let's get into the review. So one of the first things I had was that Picard's like opening captain's log kind of actually works pretty well with that Enterprise episode that you were alluding to when you were in the beginning.
Yeah.
When he says that they've mainly had long range contact with them and that most knowledge that they do have on them is just based on rumor.
Yeah.
And it does kind of play well because I think only Trip and T'Pol have like sort of interaction with these guys. And then like nobody else knows about them.
Yeah. I did think that. I thought that was kind of cool. That you could kind of see why they did that episode of Enterprise, like how it worked.
Yeah. It's a thing where, I mean, obviously it's not really a spoiler to you. I probably would keep it under my hat a little bit, but you already know things because you watched Deep Space Nine with your mom. Um, Obviously, like as time goes on, Ferengi are not really like this as much.
Yeah.
And they got really popular. And like as the franchise goes along here into the 90s, they get really popular. And that's why it was like, well, you got to have Ferengi and Enterprise because they're super popular and interesting. So it's like, find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
I thought that the like remastering of the ships, like the Ferengi ship and like the planet from orbit was pretty good actually. I enjoyed how they both looked.
Yeah. I like the ships in orbit. I thought that looked cool. I don't know what's been remastered and not. So
Yeah.
for me, it's just all great.
I think from previous to now, Damon Tar has like on his forehead, he has like a little tattoo of like a block and then like another little piece of thing.
Yeah.
And I want to say that ends up being the Ferengi like general symbol. You know how like the
Gotcha.
Klingons have that like kind of like star
Yeah.
design. I think that becomes the Ferengi thing. Well, anyways, on the underneath of the when there's a shot where like the ship is turning and you're like looking up underneath it, there's like those symbols are placed on the underneath. And I
Gotcha.
want to say that that's like a remastered ad. I think in the original
Uh-huh.
it was nothing. It was just like a ship and it was just turning. I could be wrong.
It was
I
cool.
I know they've done that in other things. They've added because they did that in the
Yeah.
TOS episode too, where we see certain Klingon ships. They add like logos and stuff to the ships.
Yeah. I like the Ferengi ship. I thought that
Hmm.
was a cool ship design.
Yeah, yeah,
I like how the Ferengis are just like the space Jawas, essentially.
oh, yes,
They just
yes,
go around and like take stuff and trade stuff.
yeah.
I mean, not obviously they're not
No,
as
that's probably
Jawas.
true. I was thinking there's another species that's a little more accurate to the Jawas, but the Jawas, after watching The Mandalorian, they're a little more spicy than what I've
Yeah.
normally watched. So, yeah.
Sugar.
So good. Yes.
Sugar. Sugar.
I forgot this. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like how they set it up where you think like the Frankies are doing this
Oh,
to the
yeah.
ship, and then it's kind of like, oh, they want to surrender too, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, something else is doing this. And then Deanna's like, hey, Captain, I have feelings of the planet. They're like, oh, forgot about the planet.
Yep. It's an interesting opening because they do that weird, like, attack type thing to the ship with, like, and then you're like, oh, well, clearly the Ferengi did it to them. And then Picard's like offering his surrender. And then they're like, yeah, we're surrendering. Just give us time. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we come back from our first commercial, I thought the flag bit was kind of strange, where they talk about country flags
Oh yeah. Again, this
because
is another time for you to like know that Picard is French,
yes,
but also kind of hates other cultures.
yeah, I don't know. I
Like
I
what?
got the feeling that it was just literally supposed to make modern audiences go like, "Wow, there's no competing nations in the future." Like that was the whole
Cool. Yeah, because that whole conversation starts by Data compares the Ferengi culture to like
yeah,
Yankee Doodles or whatever.
Yankee traders, yeah,
Yankee traders, yeah. And it was like,
which
yeah,
is
the
like
red, white, and blue. And they're like, the
yeah,
red, white, and blue said, he's like, oh, yes, long time ago, the United States of America had their own flag. Of course, France was better. It was white, red, and blue. And Data's like, yeah, and Germany was like gold. And he's like, no, no, no. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope.
yeah, too
Yeah, we're
far,
not talking
too
about
far.
no.
Yeah, he also says Uncle Sam.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
randomly brings
Yeah.
up Uncle Sam, and then Worf's like, Uncle who?
Uncle who? That was great. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really enjoyed Worf in this episode.
yeah,
His
oh, yeah.
like one-liners and stuff. Yeah.
Worf like never gets old, and even when they do more with him, he's a good character. Michael Dorn plays him very well.
Yeah, I've always liked Michael Dorn. Uncle who? I don't understand him either. Which is also funny because like
Yeah,
he went through years and years of the academy
yeah,
and he still is like, I don't understand human culture.
no idea. It's gonna get funnier as time goes on too. It's gonna just keep getting funnier.
Data was funny in this episode too.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he does some funny things, but at the same time, I'm also like, just like it grains against me a little bit just because of like what Data becomes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I know.
I enjoy his Chinese finger traps.
Yes, yeah. What did you think of when Geordi and Riker are down in the engineering room and they're trying to figure out how to break away from the hold? And then Riker
Yeah.
gives me idea about like rotating between impulse and warp really quickly, and he goes, "Woo, wait!"
I see where you're going. We ship down, then kick hard into warp 9. Yeah, come back, fight. Woo-wee!
Can we do it, Jordy?
Ask me after it's done, sir.
Oh man, that was weird.
It was,
Yeah.
and then just a few seconds later, off camera, Riker goes, give me everything you got, LaForge," and it's like super ADR, like clearly he's not.
Yeah, that was weird too. The whole scene is weird.
Yeah.
We'll show him what this baby can do, sir.
Give me everything you got, LaForge.
Aye, aye, sir.
It's just so funny too because it's like so Picard can't reach engineering because the comms are down.
Yeah.
So he sends Geordi down there.
Yeah.
And then like 5 seconds later he's like, engineering. And he like still doesn't hear from engineering. He's like, God dang it. He's like, oh, okay, Riker, go down and check on Jody. I don't know what he's doing down there. I don't. He probably hasn't even gotten to engineering yet.
Right. Right.
He's in the lift elevator still. And then they're both down there. Yeah, it was just a weird interaction between the two of them.
Yeah.
And it was like, don't you have an entire engineering staff?
No. No, McDougal's gone. I told you she's gone.
There's just that one guy at the computer, and he's like,
I have
and then
no
Jordy.
idea what's going on.
But imagine that though, like you're working in engineering, and like the navigator comes down, and he's like,
Right.
"All right, we're gonna switch these polarities. We're gonna warp to 5. We're gonna warp to 9. Then we're gonna punch it." And they're like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And then yeah, like you said, that like dubbed line
Yeah.
when he was gone, it was like, why? Why is this? It's
A
so
lot of
weird. It
weird
was so
choices.
weird.
Yeah.
And
Weird
then three
choices.
seconds later, they're all back up on the bridge in their chairs.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Jordy have stayed in engineering to do
Oh.
the?
No, the chief engineer takes care of it now.
Wow. Does Jordy become an engineering person?
Interesting. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty
Interesting.
sure. I'm pretty sure I remember him being.
Maybe not your memory is coming into clarity. Clear.
Memory betrays you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Your faith in your friends.
So next commercial break, this is the weird thing, and this is one of the things that I don't super enjoy what they do early on with Data, but Data's like they're talking with each other. So finally you see the Ferengi and Picard is talking to them. And they're like, yuck, human. And then I forget exactly what Ferengi says about second officers. They offer them the second officer or something as a means of like
Yeah.
settling peace or something. And then like as Picard and Damon Tar are talking, Data leans over to like Geordi and is like, "Oh, glad we don't have that law about second officers." And I was like, this feels completely unnecessary. Like, I don't think he needs to comment on that to
Yeah.
Geordi while that's happening, you know? I don't know. It just felt weird.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. It's supposed to be like a funny scene, but again, like I tell you, like we're not really invested in these characters yet. It's the fourth
Right.
episode, and they're like, hey, good thing we don't do that, huh, Riker? But it's like they don't really even know each other either. Like
Right. Right.
we as the audience don't really know the characters. And the characters, this is like their first
Right.
mission together. They don't really know each other either.
Right.
So it's like you can't have these like jokes and like jabs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't know why, because like TOS was like that. It was clear that like McCoy and Spock didn't get along.
Yeah.
And you just kind of accepted it, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know why that worked and this sometimes feels forced. I don't know.
Well, I mean, two things was way, way less people like interacting with each other in TOS. It was
Well, that's
mainly
true.
just the three of them talking with sometimes Scotty, and then the other three, Uhura, Sulu, and Chekhov would like they would just be like one liner, and then that would be it. In here, you have like Beverly, Troy, Riker, Picard, Tasha says a lot of stuff. Worf makes one-liners. Geordi, Data. It's like you have a whole bunch
You
of
have a
people,
lot. You have a lot of one-liner characters.
right? Or just full cuts of this character now having like a scene. And I also think another really big reason why it works is weirdly, and I do feel that way even now. Weirdly, these episodes feel like they should be running together. They feel like the friendship and the camaraderie has been being built upon. Where in TOS, it literally just felt like a standalone episode. Like what just
Yeah,
happened
right.
last week, that's never happened ever again. Like they don't talk about it. Where it
Yeah.
does feel like now last week's episode of Code of Honor like happened. They have like a nice way of kind of writing the characters to feel like things have been real.
Right. Yeah, right. We're not supposed to remember that Kirk lost his brother last week.
Right, exactly. But we are supposed to remember that Tasha fought Lutan's wife,
That's
her
true.
first one or whatever.
But I forgot that immediately. So
Good.
because it is like, oh, a human woman.
Oh, God. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. So my question is, and I tried to look it up and nothing. I thought to myself, number one, where did the finger puzzles come from?
Yeah.
And why, as like a writer, would you make this a thing?
Well, this was the 80s, and this is when they were really popular. You would, anytime you would like go on vacation or like travel, you would see Chinese finger traps and like souvenir sections, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, wouldn't that be funny?"
I mean, I agree with you. They were very popular. I remember playing with them as like a kid too. But like, if Data was like in his quarters and like
Yeah,
Jordy Riker came and like talked to him and he was goofing around or trying things, like, okay. But he's literally about to give like an explanation of like what the scans and what he'd uncovered in the library, and he's
yeah,
like messing with this thing on the table, and it's like, why is it on the table? Also, why is he like messing with it now? Like I don't know, it felt very out of
yeah,
place.
very, very forced. And then the end, apparently, he has like boxes of them.
Apparently.
I find that scene funny, but like you said, I was like, I don't understand why
Yeah.
this scene is here, like why he has this thing.
I really have no idea.
The solution eludes me.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm stuck. And Picard's like, well, get unstuck and hurry up with the briefing. It's like,
I mean, just imagine, okay, like it was cool seeing the kids in the conference room because, like, the show again, this is a family ship. It was cool to see kids had
yeah,
sneaked into the conference room, and that was
what
cool.
the hell?
And I like that, but just imagine TOS. Okay, they come in. It's Bones, Kirk, and Spock. They're walking in, and
Yeah,
McCoy shoos kids out of the room. And Spock goes over and he picks up that one of those toys where it's like a ball and a paddle. And he picks it
yeah,
up and he sits down at the table and starts his briefing and he's trying to get the ball to hit perfectly on the paddle and he's like talking. And he
yeah,
can't do it. He just can't. He can't do it. Oh, he can't do it. Can't do it. And then Kirk reaches forward and like turns his wrist a little bit, and then now Spock can get it to hit perfectly in the center. And he's going to keep talking about
yeah.
the civilization. It's just
I
like
gotta tell you, that sounds like a perfect Star Trek episode to me. But that fits more into TOS than it does in this show.
maybe.
Did the kids leave it in the conference room? Is that
I thought maybe, but I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what they're doing. They're just like standing by the shelf by the door.
They were like, "Ooh, we're not
Oh,
supposed to be in here."
and he's like, "Oh yes, boys will be boys,
Yeah.
children." And he's like, "That's like I hate children." I
It
do
like,
enjoy this conference room scene though.
yes. In general, yes.
Yeah, yeah, I really like everybody being able to like voice their opinion, even to the point where Picard says, he's like, "Okay, great. Anything else? Does anybody have anything else?" They're like, "No." He's like, "All right. Thank you. I'll take all your advice under consideration."
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like that. I like him hearing from like everybody and then being like, "Well, I'll think about it." Uh,
Yeah.
and
That's
Kirk
kind
did that too. He took everybody's kind of like thoughts, and then yeah, I enjoy that.
So yeah, this is the halfway point. So go down to the comment section and write finger puzzle. That'd be great. So we come back from commercial, and I thought it was funny that when Picard tells Tasha to like cut transmissions to the Ferengi ship, he's like he's like, okay, cut it, and then he's talking, and like behind him the Ferengi is still on screen for like a good 2-3 seconds, and he kind of
Yeah,
lingers, and I was like, that's funny.
yeah,
I also find it really funny that instead of having Damon Tar be like in a chair sitting there like you would think you would see him on the Ferengi ship, he just has like
yeah,
a stark white background and he's like super zoomed in.
yeah. It was weird. But then, according to this episode, the Ferengis are the one that altered the video.
Hmm.
They were like, "Yeah, I don't know how, but he messed with the video feed."
I don't remember,
It's
but
like,
okay.
yeah, they say that towards the end of the episode that like kind of
Oh.
explaining like why it was all zoomed in like that. It was like they were trying to still be secretive.
Oh, maybe. Interesting.
Zoomed in right to his teeth, you know.
Yeah.
I like how they're like, hey, so if we're gonna surrender, we need to see like face to face. It's kind of a Starfleet like rule.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's stupid, but all right. And
Yeah.
then they do the whole like, oh, you're so ugly.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
And like none of the humans say anything to the Frankies. It's just like the Frankies berating the humans.
Yeah.
And then like later on, the second time that they reach out on comms, again they're like, ah, you're still as ugly and as startling as the first time.
Oh, look.
Oh God, the sight of you just freaks us right out.
It's
I think
true.
that's why I always like the Ferengis though, is because they don't look like humans,
No,
really. You know,
not really. Right.
I
Yeah,
mean, obviously they're bipedal,
right.
but they don't just look like a normal person with like an antenna or, you know,
Yeah, some makeup or something.
yeah.
Did you find it really funny that when they get to the transporter room to go down, Riker asks those questions about getting back, and Data's like, "Nope, we're not going to be able to get beamed back." And then Riker's like, "Whatever, let's go." It's just like, okay, not concerned at all that we can't get back to the Enterprise.
He's a main cast member.
I always come back.
He's like, I'm Riker. I'm going with Data, Worf, and Geordi. Yeah, I'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? It's not like we're gonna beam in separate places and upside down and
Anybody?
oh
Anybody?
yeah. Oh my God. That was good. That was weird.
Yes, it was. Poor Jonathan Frakes. He's such a good actor, but
Yeah.
it was bad.
And then of course Data's like right next to him. Yeah, I saw you calling, but I was looking at this crystal. And they're like, what is that? What is that? And they run over and it's just Jordy upside down.
Well, yeah, before he gets to Geordi, he taps. So Data's like talking, and then Riker like taps him on the shoulder, and he turns around and he's like this, and then they walk away, and I'm just like, why? Why do you not just verbally talk to him? Why do you like tap on him and then act weird? I don't know. It was really weird. But yeah, they get to Geordi, and he says to him, "What are you doing?" Like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I
Yeah.
didn't choose to hang upside down.
And not, the audience can't see it, but clearly for them, they can see that like his foot is in
Right,
solid ground, like
right.
materialized into solid ground. But and that's a stupid line too. He's like, are you a conscious? And
Oh
he's
yes.
like, of course I'm. Do I not look conscious? And it's like, no, you look like you're hanging upside down and you've just been like bled out.
What are you
Because
doing?
because remember, like I can't see your eyes, so I can't see if you're awake or not. Of course I'm here. What? Then he's
Yeah,
like, Data, who's that? Who's who are
that
those?
was this whole
Who are
stretch.
those creatures over there?
It
They
was the
kind of
first.
look like they
It was the
kind of
first
look
time I
like
felt like Riker was an absolute moron the whole stretch. He's like,
he was really
"Hey,
bad.
buddy," and then he's acting weird to Data. Then he's like asking Geordi all these dumb questions, and then he turns and he's like, "Who are the? What's happening?" I'm like, "How do you not know this is the Ferengi science team that they literally talked about were beaming down?"
Yeah.
Like, also, how
Like,
do you not know
hey,
what Ferengi looked like? You had his head like the size of the ship. Like, what are you
what are you doing over there?
talking? Oh my God.
A lot of the planet stuff is pretty lame in this episode.
Yeah. It's like it's interesting. It has like the potential of being interesting, but then it's like it's not really. Yeah, we come back from the commercial, and honestly, I don't know. I'm up in the air about the whole Portal 6-3 guy. I don't know. Like, it's interesting, but it's not interesting at the same time.
Yeah, it's very
And
samey.
yeah. You know what the really weird thing is last year, I think like spring or summer of last year, they released like a Telltale, but not that company, but like a
Mm.
similar to the company, like a Star Trek game called Resurgence.
Hmm.
And it's very similar to how all of those games play, where it's like, quick time events and picking choices and stuff like that. And no joke, like literally no joke, Portal 6-3 is like heavily in it and they go back to the planet and stuff. And it's super weird for them to, of all the Star Trek media that is available, like this is the thing that they harken back to. And
Hmm.
it's fine, like it works out fine in the game. Like they do a really good job. But like I remember playing it and being like, of all the episodes
Oh,
to,
yeah, why? Yeah.
but it's interesting. It was interesting.
It's like TOS stuff. They love the Guardian of Forever.
Yes, yes, exactly. I thought the way either his makeup or just him, the way that like the camera angle, I thought when Michael Dorn was like was laying on the ground and he's like slowly getting up and he's like
He looked
looking.
weird.
Yeah, but I liked how his eyelids were like red, like you could see the inside of his eyelids
Oh,
when he was looking, and it made it look like he was like in a blood rage, like as he was waking up, like as Worf. As he
yeah.
was about to attack him. I kind of enjoyed it. It was just, I think it was a happy accident, but it looked really good.
So they get whipped.
Yep.
Riker, Geordi, and Data
Yep. Whipped.
whipped. Whip it real good. And I was like, yeah, but didn't Worf also beam down too? And then I was like, okay, so Worf will just come in and like save them. Basically, that's how this is gonna go. And
Yeah.
then like you come back from commercial and they're just dragging Worf's body over. And I was like, how? How did they get Worf?
He came running over and they just whipped him too. That was it.
Your whips won't hurt me.
Oh. Yeah. But the one
Yeah.
person they can't whip,
Well, that's for a
Tasha
whole separate
Yar.
reason. Ah, why do you wear clothing? You force your females to wear clothes. Like, wow.
So
Wow.
well, that's the one thing about Ferengi. There's a couple things that they talk about in this episode of Ferengi, and it doesn't go away. Like they
Doesn't
keep it,
go,
and
yeah.
that's one of them they keep. They like
That's
naked ladies. Well, the reality is they don't like naked ladies. They just expect ladies to be naked.
I think that is a funny concept though, if I'm being honest, that like their women are naked and they think the idea of
Hmm.
females wearing clothes, and it's like, oh, so you have to take off their clothes. That's so perverted. It's like, that's funny. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's like
funny.
the
It's like
image
it's
of
so
her wearing
stupid.
clothing is like it's
Yeah.
it's so perverted because like you're enticing them to undress her.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
perverts.
So funny. I thought in like Deep Space Nine there were Ferengi women.
There are women
Doesn't
characters
he
in
doesn't
Deep
he have
Space
a
Nine.
wife? Doesn't he have a wife, the bartender guy?
Not gonna, he doesn't. Just gonna
Yeah.
say he doesn't have a female Ferengi partner. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
But
Cool.
but to your point, the thing that's really weird is other than the pilot, unless I'm wrong, every single episode that we've watched, one way or another, has heavily made Tasha Yard like a sex symbol.
Yeah, and she's kind of not.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't
Like
get it.
I get, in the episode where they're all drunk, like sure, whatever. But it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, code of honor. It's like, oh, Captain is that your security officer? Oh my God.
Yeah. I
I
could
must have her.
I need to take her.
And Troy's like, you want to have sex with him, just admit it. Well, of course I do. It's
It's
just like,
weird. It is weird. Why?
I have no idea. I'm sure Denise Crosby was just like, whatever about it, but it's just like, it's super strange to constantly refer to
Hmm.
her either being naked or having sex with her or that she's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Was she like a model or something before she was in the
I
show?
think she was in something. She started modeling
Uh-huh.
and in 1979 posed nude for the March
Ah,
issue of Playboy.
there we go.
That's what it
That
is.
makes sense. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Got it. Yep. But isn't that
Cool.
so weird though that like the writers and everybody would be like,
Yeah,
oh,
why would you play into that? I
like
don't get it.
remember 8 years ago when she posed nude? Like let's just keep playing to the audience that like she posed for Playboy. Like who
Yeah.
cares?
Let's make every episode everybody wants to like do her. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be
Like
fun if like everyone wanted to do her. Even the robot. Even a machine can't resist her.
oh, that's yeah. Good,
Speaking of
good, good.
weird machines, I
Uh,
really thought Data doing that weird smirk when Riker gets like hit was kind of weird. So like Data's holding up the Ferengi and then Riker gets smashed and he's just like, hmm. You're just like, why?
he was like, "Be careful, Riker. They're a little bit stronger." Then he gets hit, and he's like, "Ha, ha, ha.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't get to this. Can finish my sentence in time." Classic human comedy.
We talk about it on camera or off camera. I don't remember now. But the part where Picard and Beverly are talking and it's like, where's your son? She's like, oh, he's
Uh,
in the quarters. And she's like, I thought about giving him a sedative. He's like, no, no. He has the right to face death. And she's like,
yeah,
is that a male perspective? And he like looks back and he's like, rubbish.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, what?
Rubbish.
Like, is he upset that she's saying like is it Star Trek's way of being like how dare you make such a sexist comment
Mhm.
thinking that I'm a sexist type of a thing or is it just like what was his
Rubbish.
rubbish.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously, like Picard, I know that you're really like distance from like children and stuff, but most parents don't really want to see their like kids like suffering.
not Picard though. Don't
He
give the
has the right
children
to
anything.
freeze and stop breathing just like us.
He wants to be on the bridge so much he can die like the rest of us.
That is pretty funny.
All
I
right.
mean,
It's time for trivia.
Oh, not again.
All right, now you're overacting.
So after co-producer Herbert Wright submitted his final draft script for this,
yeah,
it was the subject of significant last-minute changes.
cool.
The script disc was this is what he says, Herbert Wright. The script disc was turned over to the show's typist to format and print out a copy, which would then go to the print shop for formal copying. Oh, sorry, that's what DC Fontana said, not him. DC Fontana said that. On our way out of the building at about 6 p.m., Herb, his assistant, and I stopped in the script typist's office to say goodnight. We all saw that there were handwritten changes being made to Herb's script before anyone else had seen it, and before it went to the print shop. From long experience of working with Gene Roddenberry, I knew it was not his writing. Herb's assistant recognized it as Leonard Maltzlich's. The typist confirmed Maltzlich was sitting in production associate Susan Sackett's office making these line changes. Herb immediately went in and confronted Maltzlich as co-producer Bob Lewin was leaving via that office and was witness to Herb's questioning of why Maltzlich, a lawyer, not a writer, was making changes. Maltzlich said he was just putting in some word changes that both supervising producers Robert Justman and Rick Berman wanted, and Roddenberry had also had some last-minute thoughts. Herb's counter to that was, how could anyone want word changes or have last-minute thoughts when no one except him had seen the script yet?
That's crazy.
And in any event, such changes could have been conveyed to him, and he would have made them. Herb immediately took his complaint to Rick Berman and thought he had effectively stopped this kind of script tampering by someone not a writer. And no.
Wow.
Pretty crazy, right?
What's up with that? That's weird.
From what I understand, like, this is what I keep harkening back to, like, really early on, like, as TNG was getting off the ground, like, a lot of, like, the stuff with, like, Roddenberry and the other guys they would just, like, heavily rewrite things, and then you'd get these type of stuff. It's why, like, season one and, there's a lot of episodes, I shouldn't just say all of season one. There's a lot of episodes that you're just like, why is this episode weird or stupid or doesn't make sense? And it's like, oh, because all these people got their hands in there and like messed with it because it's like exactly what you said. Oh, well, it's got to feel like a God character from TOS, right? This has to feel like a TOS episode. Otherwise, what's the point of Star Trek? And you're like, but you can let it stand on its own 2 feet and make it different and interesting. Like, no.
That's weird. This almost just sounds like he was just in that office and he was bored and he just was like, that's stupid. People wouldn't say that. And just like started writing it like differently.
Yeah, like anybody. Yeah. Good lines like that, like woo wee. That's a really good added.
Well, no, so here's the funny thing though, is that I'm sure that's not what he wrote because because that made it to the final shoot, which means that's probably the stuff that he changed. The lawyer's like, people wouldn't, this is so weird. Why is he writing people like this?
I don't think so. I think this Herb guy wrote, and then the lawyer went in and was like, "You got to have him say like he's really happy to get that thing fixed." And he's yelling. Riker's yelling over like a big open. He's trying to find his crewmates. He would say anybody, all this garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Justman and who was it? It was Robert Justman, Rick Berman, and Gene Roddenberry all wanted this lawyer guy to make all these changes to whatever Herb was writing. So I don't know.
Oh,
No idea.
so funny that Roddenberry at this time had to get like a lawyer to do stuff for him because like nobody wanted him on set of his own creation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Meanwhile, Kirk, Kirk is suing him.
Oh yeah.
His whole thing.
Everybody likes him, right? It's all you're getting. Everybody likes him.
Yeah, seems like it.
According to Armin Shimmerman, an actor who played a Ferengi, he was told all the actors who played the Ferengis were directed to jump up and down like crazed gerbils.
I would have said chimps, but that's just me.
And then Daryl Enriquez, he plays Portal,
Yeah.
also makes an earlier Trek appearance, but he hasn't played the character yet, but we've already seen him. He played the Romulan ambassador Nonclus in Undiscovered Country. So remember when
Oh,
the Romulans in the
yeah.
office with the president?
Yes.
That's him. That's the guy. It's the same actor who plays
Oh,
the portal guy with the staff. I read that the design of the Frankie were created by Andrew Probert, and modifications were made by Michael Westmore, who Michael Bell talked
hmm.
about with other makeup stuff. He's a really famous guy, and Mike Akuda.
Yeah, I recognize both.
Um, and they said that the ship was inspired by Horseshoe Crab and was built by Greg Jean.
Okay.
In Probert's original concept, the Ferengi had ears which were pointed like a bat, but there were concerns that they would appear simply to be larger versions of like Vulcan ears, essentially. So Westmore
Mm,
told them to round off the ears when it came to the makeup and add like wrinkles and all these things.
yeah.
And then Mike Akuda designed a rank. He designed the tattoo
Oh, cool.
and put it on their forehead. The symbol means dog eat dog and was painted green as that is the color of American dollar bills.
Wow. That's pretty funny. They don't respect gold, they wear it as jewelry.
Yeah. One of the Ferengi was Tracy Walter. So this is Tracy Walter, but he was one of the Ferengi, but he also plays one of the bad guys in the 1989 Batman movie.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty funny.
That's funny.
So we come back from trivia, and I don't know if I can get it all on camera, but I like the part where he says they're talking and he goes, "Challenge." The Frankie. It really
Yeah.
made me laugh.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they turn into these like really super annoying,
Yeah.
like conniving little beasts.
Yeah.
We don't even watch to be here. They forced us to be here. Look at what they do with gold. Oh, kill them.
They're also mean to other planets. They're mean.
It's just like,
They just like, yeah, we are mean to them. We hate them.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, we'll kill you too.
Yeah, and the last thing I wrote was, and it's funny how I read online that other people feel the same way, but maybe you do too, that Riker suggesting the beaming over a box of the finger puzzles to the Ferengi was much like Scotty deciding without anybody's approval to beam over tribbles to the
The
Klingon ship.
tribbles. Yeah. Yeah, Riker, he's got to ask. Yeah, but how do you feel about the whole like oh you need to know when to fight and when not to fight?
The
And Worf's
Sun
like,
Tzu.
I'll fight.
I'll fight him. Yeah, the Sun Tzu stuff. I don't know. It's fine. Like, it's fine. He was clearly like reading Riker's mind, and they had just talked about it on the bridge, so like it kind of plays all together. But I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's
it
the
was
it's the trope of ancient civilization thinks everybody is beneath them because they're hundreds of thousands of years old and they've seen so much and everyone is so dumb in comparison
yeah.
to them. And then they do a simple thing like, what if I put a blade to your throat? And they're like, oh, you didn't try to kill me too while a blade was to your throat. Like, interesting. Well, you seem to be intelligent, so we'll continue talking to each other. And you're like,
Wow, you're
oh,
pretty advanced.
oh. Wow.
Wow.
It took us thousands of years to think like that.
Yeah. And then Riker like immediately puts the Ferengis down too. He's like, yeah, we used to be like that hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, yes.
So it's like, so to your point, like, yeah, these cultures are like they're
Yeah.
so superior all the time about like, well, we don't choose violence, so
Yes.
we're like the best people in the galaxy, really.
We're the best. Yeah, I know. The other part that made me
That's
laugh was
Star
when
Trek.
the portal guy was like, should I kill them? Should I blow up their ships and murder them all? And they're like, no, then they wouldn't learn. He's like,
He's like,
oh, fascinating thought.
you good. Wow, you good. I tried to trick you at the end there. You're good. Man, you good.
You're good.
You're pretty good.
I almost killed
Wow.
you with my flame blade, but nope, not this time. And who is this Colonel Sanders, and why is his chicken wonderful? Well, that concludes the episode. It's not much to talk about in it. Try not to make fun of the show too much, but season one is a little dry.
Yep.
Before we
No.
go, let's do the thing everyone's been waiting for.
Caleb? Caleb, Caleb, Caleb.
So, Caleb, who gets the Eric Artegas Award for being the most unlikable?
The Ferengi captain.
Damon
Don't like him.
Pa.
Don't like him at all.
Don't like
Don't
him.
like him at all. Real piece of work, that guy.
Yeah, they steal that piece, and then he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll tell them that they attacked us first.
And that'll go over so well. They'll just fall for it immediately.
They don't know. They're stupid.
Next is the Elizabeth Cutler Award for the most forgettable.
Wesley.
Perfect. Let the boy die.
Let the boy watch.
Next is the Mugatu Award for being the best alien of the episode.
The Ferengis.
The Ferengis.
The Ferengis. Very good, very good.
Yeah. They are pretty cool, especially when your other choice is Portal 6-3, Takan Emperor, whatever that thing is.
Nah, he's just a human with a staff. Lame.
Next is the Trip Tucker Award for being the MVP.
That's gonna be Riker this week.
Ooh, wow.
I mean, the reason that everybody doesn't die on the Enterprise is because he makes that guy think that humans are advanced.
True.
Because he could have sent Worf in to fight, that wouldn't have been good.
If you are looking for battle, come to me.
I did like when Worf no, never mind.
Oh.
Say it in a second.
Oh. So should I move on to the Spock Award for the best line of the episode?
I do like when Worf I yeah, it's Worf. It's when he said, Uncle who?
Yes. Okay. Yes,
Good
yes,
one.
yes. It is really weird though that Data like knows all of this old, like really old United States and
Yeah,
like propaganda stuff. Like why would he have that in his like memory
I don't
bank?
know. That's the type of stuff you feed a robot for them to be like, humans are illogical, destroy all
Unless
humans, basic
unless Data
function.
operates like most search engines nowadays, where it's like you type in one thing like Yankee Trader, and then it's just
Yeah.
like, here's a picture of the American flag, here's a picture of Uncle Sam, and you're like, oh, okay.
Ah, ah.
Yeah.
I think Data's circuits run on like the Wayback Machine.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's how they function.
That's perfect. Next is the Shran Award for the best action sequence.
Okay, this is where I was going. This is when Worf stands up and body sweeps those two Ferengis.
Oh, okay.
He
Yes.
grabs like both of their legs and he's just like, ooh. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, yes,
that was
yes.
enjoyable.
Next is the NX Award for some sweet ship stuff.
I like the Ferengi ship. I like how the front of it should be the back of it.
Yeah, they said it was like they designed it to kind of look like a horseshoe crab, as it say, but then like the front was supposed to be like little pincers kind of a thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a unique design. Not a lot of ships look like that in Star Trek. It kind of stands out.
Cool.
Next is the Porthos Award for being the cheesiest thing of the episode.
That's definitely Riker and Geordi in the engineering room.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh, that'll work. Oh, woo! It was like, what? Why are we doing this?
It is really funny how
It's
weirdly
really weird,
uncomfortable that
yeah.
is. Yeah. Yes. It's like, hey, let's have an actor say something on paper that reads well, but then when you
Uh-huh.
have to act it, it's like, no, no, we shouldn't have
Mm-mm.
anybody say that.
So, it's almost like, he did it, and then everyone was just like,
Nice.
that worked really well.
Thanks, LeVar Burton. And lastly, the Enterprise Award for the best scene of the episode.
I'll say that I like the
Oh,
briefing
okay.
room scene.
Yeah.
I like when he says Wesley should die with honor. No, I like the briefing room scene. I like seeing Picard be a captain and get everybody's input. I thought that was good.
Yeah, because in that scene, he literally says it and then he turns to Geordi and he's like, Geordi, anything? And Geordi's like, no.
No, sir.
Like, all right, well, okay.
Well, then you can get out.
Then they all leave, and then he's like, "What about you, Riker?" And then he talks to him. Yeah, it's a good scene.
It's like, Riker, I didn't hear you say anything. He's like, well, because the only other option is to blow him out of the sky. I was like, yes, of course.
So that concludes our review. So go down to the comment section and write what you thought of the episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you want more of it?
Would you rather see Ya or Dana naked? You let us know in the comments below. I know my answer.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Next week's episode is going to be episode 6 of Star Trek The Next Generation. And that episode is entitled Where No One Has Gone
Ooh.
Before.
Yes. Because women can go there now too.
That's right. Progress.
With clothes
Maybe.
or without clothes. It's up to them.
As always, you can like the video if you liked it. You can dislike it if you dislike it. You can share it with all your friends and family and Trek enthusiasts. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode and ring that bell for notifications so that when an episode like this comes out, you don't miss it. Don't forget to go after this video ends to go over to Caleb's channel. Find a playlist, push play.
Yeah.
Go over there. Give him a
Do
like.
it.
Give him a subscribe. Give him a comment. Give him a suggestion. You decide. Thanks everybody for watching. And Caleb, send us out.
Computer and program.
See you guys.
Bye.